Hi, my name is Razink, and I'm the CEO of DropChain. Today, we're going to show you how to mint and create asset metadata for your NFT using the DropChain API 100% no code. If you haven't yet, create a free account on dropchain.network and do the quick start guide. You can build both no code and code Web3 apps. And in this guide, we're going to show you how to do it no code. We're going to test the full flow of minting an NFT, attaching it to your, creating metadata, creating an NFT with that metadata, and then grabbing that metadata information using our tools. So DropChain API allows you to use different smart contracts without needing to know anything about the technology. You don't need to know how to code smart contracts. You simply integrate our APIs. And in this example, we're going to run through this full process of creating NFT metadata. And so why would you want to do this? A good example of this is if you want to create your own NFT collection, right? If you want to have your own images for your NFTs that anyone can look at, or you could sell and people could look at if they own them, or maybe you want to create an NFT for your game or a token for your game, and it has to have like a rarity or a score or its power. All these things can be included within the NFT metadata or the token metadata. And so we're going to take a look at the curl, and this is going to explain everything we need to know about the request. We're also going to use Postman. And so this is a free API tester. If you haven't set this up yet before, create a free account, create a collection for yourself, and then we're going to actually create a new request. We're going to call it create metadata. First things first, look at how it says post. We're then going to update this to post. We're also going to take the URL, create asset metadata. We're going to paste that there. And if you haven't done this before, create your authorization and go to API key. This won't automatically populate for you unless you've done this already. If you want to grab your API key, you can go to the console.dropchain.network. And then here's your DropChain API dashboard. Under the API dashboard section, you have your app ID here and on the left. If you scroll down, you have your API keys section. The API keys allow you to generate an API key unique to your app. And so for this case, we have an API key here. This will normally be censored if you've already made one and you're coming back to it. In this case, we created it and we haven't left, so it's still available. If you do ever expose your API key, please delete it with the trash can symbol right here and then generate a new one. In this case, we're kind of showing you how to do this for educational purposes. And so by the time you see this, it'll be deleted and it won't be really functional at all. But you'd copy this API key and you'd include it within here in the header. In this case, we're going to put it within the value section. So you're going to have a key, which is X API key, and then you're going to have the value, which is your API key, and then you're going to add that to the header. Then we can move forward. We're going to copy the data section. This can also be called the body of your API key. So within the body section, you're going to click raw, you're going to hit JSON, and then we're going to paste this. And so now we have a bunch of information here. We're going to work through each of these fields to explain what this means. So first, app ID is intuitive, right? You need to copy your app ID and you need to paste that there. You also need to include your user1 user ID. And so in this case, we're going to just take our test user 1. Now it's the fun stuff, right? Let's say we want to create an NFT image or an NFT metadata. We're gonna fill it all in, right? We're gonna call the asset metadata. What's the name of our NFT? Let's call it super rare NFT sword or something. The description is, this is the description to super rare sword. If we have a game, maybe we want to create a sword for it. External URL is going to be the name of your game or your community. If you have a Twitter account, if you have a Discord, if you have a website. In this case, I'm going to go put dropchain.network. If you have any other questions, go to the dropchain.network, create a free account, and then join the Discord, right? This website, dropchain.network, is going to have all your answers. You have a documentation explaining everything. And if you have any problems, please join the Discord. I personally will help answer your questions, as well as we have a bunch of other builders also participating and answering questions as well. Now you have your image URL. So there's a couple options here. One option could be to, well, first, just uploading this into Google Drive. That could be a great option for a lot of people. The second option, if you want to upload it into IPFS, which is what we're doing here, use NFT.storage. Create a free account, upload your image, and you'll have a metadata hash. For this example, I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna find a random image. We're gonna find a random fun one. I think looks cool. Maybe something unique. I'm getting kind of weird ones here. Maybe you want to do this one. This is kind of cool, like zombie area. Let's copy the image address. Go back to here, and in between the double quotes, paste that. And so you see a bunch of traits and values. This is not necessary to do, but for this example, we're going to do it, right? Asset metadata has traits. This field is a true or a false. If it's true, then you can include these fields and it'll show up on your metadata, even if they're empty. If it's false, none of this below will show up. And so the reason why you want to do this is maybe we'll leave it for true. And the example of this would be if you have a NFT that has a special background. We'll call this background color for trait type 1. For value 1, we'll call it cotton candy pink or something, right? If you have a sword, you want to call like the power or the strength of the sword. Maybe it's out of 10, you're going to do like 9. Maybe that's what you want to have. So basically, you can use these types and values to describe information about your NFT that can be looked at going forward, and that can be sort of the source of information about your NFT or your token. We're going to leave the rest blank because we don't really need to fill out all of them. We're going to hit save, and then we're going to hit send it. And exactly like this, we have information about this asset. And so just like when you upload your image to NFT.storage, you're going to get a hash. Let's copy this hash and show off how to do this. So if you did have an NFT.storage image, you would normally do IPFS : / and then you'd paste it. That's the normal standard version of this. Within our documentation, we show you exactly how to do this, which will be a link in the description below. But for now, we're gonna go back, we're just gonna leave it. And we're actually gonna look at ipfs.io/IPFS and then paste our metadata. And just like that, we're getting all the information we just uploaded to IPFS, right? This is a description of a super rare sword, DropChain.network. Here's the random image, right? We had all this is exactly what we inputted, and this is how it's displayed. Strength is 9 out of 10 maybe. Background color is cotton candy pink. And with this, you can go crazy. You can just try to make your own version of your NFT metadata, but maybe you want to actually mint an NFT with this information. So let's do it, right? Let's go to Asset Mint. We're gonna call it Super Rare Sword. We're gonna call it Super Rare Sword, SRS. And then for the asset URL, we're gonna do IPFS : / and then the hash. And that's a very traditional way of doing that. That's the sort of the standard, is how we take the metadata hash that we created in the create metadata section right here. And then we put it into the created asset URL. We save this, Control or Command S, or click the save button here, and then we send it. And just like that, we have minted our NFT, and we have a unique asset ID. So let's take a look here. Paste it to the top, this bar, and here's the super rare sword. Here's the unique asset ID. Here's the IPFS link, and you have all of this information available for viewing, right? So let's say you wanted to grab a token or NFTs metadata, but you don't want to have to go to IPFS.io, all that crazy stuff. We actually have an endpoint for you. And so you can do a couple things. First, you're going to have the asset ID, and we're going to make a new endpoint. We're going to call it grab token metadata. We want to imagine we just have the asset ID. We're going to grab all of the information about the asset we just made. So we're going to click post, add the URL. Again, go through the header. This is already created for us, but you can do that again. We're going to hit raw, JSON, and then we're going to copy the data here. We're going to put it in. We're going to copy all of the information from the dashboard. Just user 1. Asset ID. And we're going to copy that's the wrong one, super rare sword. We're going to copy the asset ID from that, or you can also go to the asset mint, copy it from here. We're going to paste it, make sure you save it. And then we're going to hit send. And this is going to give you all of the information you need to have from an NFT. Right? This is going to give you all the technical information. Here's your name when you made this for the first time. You have a URL, which is the IPFS metadata. And oops, we hit that. But in this case, we're going to copy this IPFS URL, this hash. We're going to add another request. We're going to say, all right, we don't want to have to go to the IPFS. We don't want to go to the IPFS tool. We're going to just use the native DropChain tool to grab this information. So we have a tool, get metadata from hash. So again, we're going to make a new endpoint that allows us to do this. Paste this here, get metadata from hash. Make sure the authorization of the API key is there. And then we're going to copy the data from this curl request from the how to grab metadata from IPFS metadata hash. It looks like I forgot the side bracket, but that's all right. Copy the user 1, app ID here, and then the asset metadata hash is going to be from the get asset info, this information here. So I'm going to copy that, paste it into the asset metadata hash, save the request, and then we're going to send it. And surprise, surprise, everything will appear right here, right? So we have the metadata attributes, trait type, background color, cotton candy pink, just like we did it. Strength is 9. All of these trait types, the description, the URL, the image, the name, all that available for you right now. What we just did is we created your IPFS metadata, no code required. B, minted an NFT, attached the IPFS metadata, no code required, and then we grabbed the asset information and then looked at the NFT metadata, all using the DropChain API, using no code. This can be integrated into your code applications if you know how to do this. Also, bubble.io, we have existing guides out there showing you how to build a full, robust Web3 app using just the DropChain API. No need to know how to make any smart contracts. If you want to get started, please make a free account at dropchain.network and go through the quick start guide, jump in and try out your API. It's free to get started and free, 100% free until you want to launch an app publicly. And join the Discord. There's going to be a link to both of those places below. I'm in there, my co-founders are in there, or my co-founder is in there, and other builders are in there actively helping out people like yourself who want to build a Web3 app and maybe don't know how to do the technicals. No worries, we got you. Please jump in, ask if you have any questions, and thanks.